Next up, the reading component. Let's take a look at component 2, the reading test. This is where you can demonstrate how well you understand written English. And together we're going to work on this. We're going to help you improve your reading techniques and kind of find the tricks to help you get the best score possible in the reading section. Like I said earlier, the reading section is 75 minutes long, and it is made up of 100 questions. So part 5 of the test, which is the first part of the reading test, is called incomplete sentences. This part is made up of 30 questions. So there will be 30 sentences with one word, one phrase missing. So please take a look at page 9 from our book. And remember, this isn't listening, this is only reading, but I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. Please read along. Our example sentence is, employees should all hours on their timesheet before Friday. A, leave. B, perform. C, record. D, introduce. What's the best choice here? The best choice is A. Employees should leave all hours on their timesheet before Friday. So there's a lot of vocabulary knowledge here. Vocabulary is one of the things that we're going to take a lot of time working through. So there will be 30 of those types of sentences. This one's a bit quicker. This is probably each question is probably the quickest of the reading test. Moving on now to part 6, also the second part of the reading section. This part is similar to part 5, but it's longer. It's called text completion. Text completion is made up of 16 questions. Usually there are about 4 texts. These texts could be an email, a letter, an advertisement, or perhaps some kind of announcement. So you will read the text, and in the text there are 3 or 4 words, phrases, or sentences missing. So please take some time to have a look at the text on page 10. Go through, read it. You will see 1, 2, and 3 are missing. I'm going to give you a little bit of time. Please press pause, and I'm going to wait right here for you. Please go ahead and read the example text. All the best. See you later. Oh, you're back. How did you go? Let's look at number 1. Is it A, recorded, B, scheduled, C, reduced, D, supplied? Yep, it's B, scheduled. We were scheduled to meet at 9 a.m. So, like I said, there'll be 16 of those questions. Let's move on now to the final part of the test. Whew! You've made it this far. You're on the home stretch. This is part 7, the final part of TOEIC. It's called reading comprehension. Okay, so as with all of the 3 reading parts, the directions will appear on the test, okay? So in this part, you will read a selection of texts. Maybe it's an article from a magazine or a newspaper. It could be a letter, an email, or an advertisement. So each text is followed by some questions. As always, they're multiple choice questions. please select the best answer for each question and mark the letter A, B, C, or D. You're very familiar with that now. Okay, once again, please take a look at the example text on page 11. Again, I'm going to be right here waiting for you. Please press pause. I'll see you once you've read it. Okay, how'd you go? So, going out of business. Let's take a look at number 1. What is this an advertisement for? A new store opening. B, a store closing. C, a one-day sale. D, a job at a store. What's the answer? What's the best answer here? The best answer is B. It's a store closing. The key phrase in the text is Good Homes Furniture Company is going out of business. So going out of business is a phrase that means a store is closing down, okay? The reading comprehension part, so that's part 7, is the longest part of the test. It's made up of 54 questions, just like these 2 example questions here. And there will be several different texts. And then you're finished. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is TOEIC. As you can see, there's a lot involved. There's a lot of listening, a lot of reading. So there are 200 multiple choice questions, and the test lasts 2 hours, okay? So 120 minutes. It's pretty fast going. 2 questions every 1.5 minutes. It's pretty quick. It seems like a lot, perhaps, and I understand it might seem a little bit scary. It might seem a little bit heavy, but don't worry. The TOEIC questions are based on all kinds of different situations relating to work and even personal life. So some situations take place in an office. Some situations might be in a restaurant or people traveling. And also, the TOEIC test is based on different types of vocabulary and grammar. But there is a formula for getting a good score in the TOEIC test. And through using this book and watching these videos, you will have a much better chance of achieving your TOEIC test score goal. I'm really sure of it. Finally, I'd like to share some very helpful hints and tips with you. Firstly, I recommend that you watch one of these videos a week and read one chapter a week. This will give you enough time to go through and learn and practice each part of the chapter while helping you memorize all of the things you need. As well as doing one chapter, one video a week, please make a checklist. Make a checklist of each parts of the chapter, so vocabulary, grammar, and tick it off when you've finished. I highly recommend that you use some applications to help you with memorizing vocabulary. So I'm going to recommend one that's been really useful for me in learning Japanese. There are several applications. I personally like this one. It's called Anki. So let's take a look at how it works. Basically, it's a flashcard system. And for each new vocabulary, you make a flashcard. And there's a front side where you write the word. And then you write the Japanese translation if you want, or maybe a picture or something to help you understand the word. So the example here is bridge, started with an easy one. Then you go to the cards and you go through them. If you successfully memorize, you pick easy. And if you don't, you can pick fail or hard. And that you will see that card more often. It's a great system. I highly recommend that you have some English in your life. The best way to learn a language is to engage with that language, okay? Not just study. So find something you like. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be a Netflix TV show or movie. It could be a podcast. There are lots of great podcasts, for example, news podcasts or conversation podcasts. And I recommend that you listen to some English, let's say 10 or 15 minutes every morning or every evening, maybe on the train. If you live in Japan, you probably do a lot of train commuting. I do. That's a great time to listen to some English and also find something to read. This test is a listening and reading test, so it's really important that you spend time practicing those things. It will help your ears, it will help your eyes, and it will help your brain adjust to English. And, you know, it will just help you be a better English communicator generally, not just for TOEIC, just generally in your life. Learning a language is fun. It's rewarding. It should be fun and rewarding. So don't just study. Engage with English in your life. I think it's important to perhaps have one day off from the book and from studying TOEIC, maybe one day a week, just to give your brain a rest, just to have a nice break. In the lead up to the test, and this is really important, get enough sleep. Sleep is when our body and our minds refresh, right? So all of the new vocabulary, the new things you've been learning, all of this English, when you sleep, that's when it goes into your brain, okay? You've got to give your mind a rest. So make sure you get enough sleep. Studies have shown people who sleep better before tests get better scores. Okay. Don't just cram for your test. Take your time. Use these 14 chapters. Use them properly. Like I said, once a week. And that will help you have enough rest. So that's the TOEIC test in a nutshell. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. That's video 1. So video 2, which is next up, will be chapter 1 from the book. Let's get this TOEIC journey started. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Over and out for now. See you in the next one.